Day 21. I already had my protein coffee. I did not have breakfast yet. I'm going to do this video on a walk. You ever hop on these apps, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and it's like some 22-year-old person trying to blast life values and life hardships in your face, and you know they've not experienced 1 ounce of humbling or any type of real hardship in their adult life? I think we should change that. And I'm going to change that by sharing some of my life experience. I've been married and divorced and remarried. Today is Father's Day, and I am lucky enough to have my own good father, and I am lucky enough to have a man in my life who is also a really good father. But that's not by accident. When my first marriage ended, I was alone with a almost 2-year-old. She was still like 1.5, and I did not want her to grow up and basically have daddy issues. So I knew I had to be careful in how I went forward from that marriage. At the beginning, I swore off I would never get married again because fuck that. That shit was hard. That shit hurt. I was hurt. And I felt terrible for my daughter, who would now have to live that life of having separated parents. Nobody wants that for their kids. So I swore that off. I would never remarry. And then some time had gone by. I told myself, well, actually I did want that at one time, and I shouldn't walk away from this scorned. That is what I wanted at that time. And while the circumstances changed in that marriage, I shouldn't let the bitterness from my experience prevent me from living the life that I wanted to live. I didn't really put myself out there, but in today's world, you all know how it goes. People be DMing you, and you start dipping your toes back into the dating field. And quite frankly, I had never really dated. I never got to experience the dating world as an adult, because the person I was with when I was 18, I ended up marrying that guy. So as an adult, I didn't know what the hell in the dating world. But naturally, they come along, and you have to tell yourself, hey, you have to set standards. You have to set standards. And what I learned, I liked to dive into self-help. But before I started dating or seeing people, I knew that I had to fix what was going on up here. And I learned that I sucked at being in relationships. So I had to fix what was going on up here so that I could be the best type of person I could be in a relationship, and not someone who was just half-assing it, because each person has to give 100% in a relationship, and in that previous relationship, neither one of us were giving 100%. So I knew going forward, I had to learn how to be a better significant other before I became another significant other, because I didn't want to end up with another divorce, because that's what the odds say. They say the second marriage is more likely to end than the first marriage. So I knew I had to fix what was going on up here. And then came along the dating pool. And I'll tell you, I'll be honest, I don't think, maybe I've told my husband, I don't know. I literally compared. I said, would this guy make a good dad? Would that guy make a good dad? They are both interested in me, and I'm going to choose based on who I think would make a good father and who would be a good fit. And that's a harsh reality, I think, for some people, is to know that my top standard, my top priority was my daughter. I did not want another man coming into her life that was just going to be gone. It was my responsibility not to choose someone who I didn't think would make a good dad in the end. So I saw that in Jake. And what I saw in Jake was someone who was not only compatible, but he was someone you could see was on a path looking for fulfillment. He seemed like he would be the kind of guy whose fulfillment came from family. And that was my top priority. So fast forward 14 years later, he's still there. My daughter is about to be 16, and we have our own daughter together. But he stepped up to the plate for my daughter in a way that she views him as dad, No question about it. Guys like that, I don't think are hard to find. But I do think as a woman, it is our responsibility to make sure that if that's something we want in our life, we have to make sure that we actively are choosing that, seeking that, and not choosing someone we kind of intuitively feel wouldn't fit the part. My intuition on Jake was he was a good man, and he was going to be my man, and he's a good dad. So that's my life advice. As a woman, as a mother, it is our responsibility to make sure we make the right choices for our kids or future kids, because it falls on us. In the end, it falls on us. So make right choices, do what you feel is right, because you know intuitively what's right, what's wrong. If someone's stressing you out, they're going to continue to stress you out. If someone makes you feel secure and comforted and loved, they're going to continue that too. So that's day 21. Happy Father's Day, and I will see you tomorrow.